Just you.
getting this information. So,
Well, I relate to every author I have the pleasure to work with because I don't think anyone's gone through as much as I have. No one's made as many mistakes as I have. And yes, I had to go through that on my own.
mhm,
At the age of, after my mother tried to kill me, I had to look at my life and I had to say, I've been given a second life for a reason here.
yeah.
And what am I going to do with it? Am I going to try to get this mother of mine who doesn't have the ability to love me to love me? That's an impossible task. I cannot convince anybody to love me. But one thing I can do, even though it's standing up in the face of my family, I can love myself.
Well,
And
that's a major insight, and many people have to spend years and years in therapy to get there.
yeah, and I looked and I thought, well, the only way I'm going to be who I want to be, the only way I'm going to survive this life and potentially prosper is by being who I am. And I thought, well, what about my family? What if they don't love me? I thought, well, the only thing that I have that's unique to give them is me, and I can't be responsible for if they love me, but I can be responsible how I love them. And I can give them the greatest gift of all, which is me. And if they
Hmm.
love me, great. If they don't, I did my job.
Hmm.
I could live with myself no matter what the outcome is. I did my job. I controlled every factor I could control,
Yeah.
everything I had, which was me. And quite frankly, it worked out. My mother died old and evil and lost and alone, but the rest of my family is really circled around me, and they adore me. They don't know why, because I'm so different. They're wondering when I'm going to grow up, but they adore me. They really adore me because I've shared who I am with them, and they made all the difference in the world to me. And
Yeah.
so I understand that compromised lifestyle, but I also understand the pains of a compromised lifestyle. The pain of not only the person compromising, but the person, but all those surrounding the compromised person, they're short circuited as well too. And when you write a book using this method, David, that I share, it connects you back with God's vision of who you are. God's spirit source, whatever you want to call it, he should reconnect you with it, how he, she, or it sees you.
Well, I wonder if the majority of people who take the workshop, if you're gonna write something in a weekend, let's say, or a very short period of time, which you say people end up doing, are they all writing essentially autobiographical memoirs?
They're all over the board, David.
Because I think of uh, let's say of in the nonfiction area, typically there's a lot of research that has to be done on a topic. In the fiction area, there's plotting and character development to be done and all of that. So
David.
go ahead. The
You know,
Skype seems to cut out if we're both talking at the same time.
you're extremely well educated academically. In this area, what you're talking about is plotting and structuring and research. It's all left brain masturbation. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's been my experience over the last 32 years. I'm not belittling the fact that research needs to be done, but what I have found and discovered over the last 32 years, and it's been thrown in my face day in and day out for 32 years, is that the reason people want to write is because there's a book stuck inside them trying to get out. And that book's written on the other side of life. So you let that book out. Will there be some technical aspects of it that need to be addressed through research? Absolutely. But I'm a proponent of writing the book that's inside you, letting it out. And I shouldn't say creating the book because you're not creating it because it's already created. You're releasing it. Okay. So when you release that book, then you can see what technical flaws are associated with it, what other research you need to do. Then you do the research after you've written the book.
So you kind of backfill after you've gotten the heart of it out.
Absolutely. The average amount of material that is utilized in pre-writing research is less than 2%. So 98% of the information gathered through pre-writing research falls to the wayside and has no positive effect on the outcome of the book. So pre-writing research is justifiable procrastination in most cases.
Hmm.
I mean, I have so many people that have come up to me during my lectures and classes and said, I've been wanting to write for a long time. And I'll ask how long, 14, 16, 24, 37 years. And I'll say, what have you been doing during that period of time? I've been researching. Thought, oh, you've been procrastinating.
I know some instances of that, so that rings a bell. But what about all the people? There are tons of books that come out every year. from people who've not taken your workshop.
Sure.
Are those books also divinely inspired or not?
I think they are. I mean, there's several different ways to write a book. I'm not saying I have the only way. I just think I have the more human way, the best way, where you ultimately, some of us pull off a Band-Aid one hair at a time. Some of us take it off real quick. Either way, the Band-Aid comes off,
Huh.
but it's more painful one hair at a time as opposed to taking it off real quick. So eventually, an author, if he or she keeps writing and keeps learning and writing, will get to some form of spiritual enlightenment and understanding. All I really do, David, is I'm like, okay, you're going to get to where you need to go somewhere between 12 and 22 years on your own. All I'm saying is come out and hang with me for a week and we'll get it done in 3 days. All I do is I shorten the learning curve.
Yeah.
Shorten the learning curve. And